I'm going to come over here and grade or subject. I'm going to put, let's say I teach 8th grade. Notice I'm using my finger. I have my pen in my hand. I have my pen in my left hand, but I'm going to write with my finger. So I teach 8th grade. Like all good kindergartners, little ones, we want them to put their toys away when they're finished. So I'm going to put my toy away. Then I'm going to touch right here. Notice it gets a resizing handle, it gets a free rotation handle, and it gets a pull down menu. And what I want it to do is something that's magical. I want it to turn my personal handwriting into text.
Wow.
Bam.
Nossa Senhora. Acabou com a gente agora.
So I can resize these objects and get them the way I want to. I can move this around if I want to. Do anything I would like. I can touch the object and freely rotate it. I can use the resizing handle to make it bigger. I can copy, paste onto another object. Everything in SMART is an object. It doesn't matter whether it's a picture or text or anything else that you put in, it's an object. So I would like, since you're so close up front, here, I'll take this one. Come with me, come on. Okay. Pick up a pen, any pen, and write your name. Hard. Okay, you can put your pen back. Now, she's going to be close because she's not used to the touch of the board. But one of the first things that I have to teach people when they're using SMART technology is to touch with intent. Don't be wimpy, don't be light. You're not going to hurt the board. Now, touch your name. Hard. Pull down menu. Recognize. Yes. Huh? Let's go right now. Okay, go ahead, pick up a pen. Now, do you write in cursive? Okay, put that pen in your other hand and use your finger, touch with intent, and write in cursive. Let's make it harder for SMART to recognize stylized, personalized handwriting and see if it can do it. Pen down. Touch the word. Let's see if it can recognize it. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to keep going because you've seen that, okay? So now I'm going to go to this slide. And how does a smart board work? Right now, you need three things. You need a projector. But in this case, notice how I am mirroring everything. This is not touchable. But any marks that I make show up here as well. So you can't touch this one. But we can, and everything is mirrored. So our classrooms in the College of Education are set up just like this. This projector goes to that, and it just projects. This projector goes to a smart board, which is very smart. But the smart part is not this. The smart part is the software. So here's what you need. It's the Bermuda Triangle of technology. You have to have three things. You have to have a projector. You have to have a computer with the software on it. And you have to have a smart board. That is changing. You don't have to have a smart board. What you need to have is at least a whiteboard, a large whiteboard, that projector, and a computer and software. So computer, software, projector at least. Those are the three things you need. The pen tray, as I described, the pens are stupid. They're just pieces of plastic. The pen tray is smart. It has the electronics inside it. There are two buttons right above the eraser. One is the on-screen keyboard. The other button is the right-click mouse. Now, do you use primarily Apple or Windows computers in your
Windows.
Windows, okay? You know that on a Windows machine, you have a two-button mouse, right? And for special menus that you want, you have to right-click, correct? Well, if you are at your board and you want to get a special menu from Windows, you have to right-click. Well, when you're at the board, you don't want to have to go to your computer and right-click on the mouse. Instead, we can do it right here using this. If I touch this once, it means that my next touch is going to be a right-click. And in this case, it'll bring up a special menu. And I'm going to touch right here above the tools. And this is why it takes 2 full days of training to really get good at using Smart. Because there are so many tools. Look at all these tools. And when I train in those 2 days, you learn every one of these. And you learn how to use them to the benefit of students in their learning. So that's the right-click mouse. The other one right here is the on-screen keyboard. Again, I don't want to have to go to my computer to type something. So all I have to do is touch where I want text to be entered. I want to enter text right there. And I touch my keyboard screen, and I get an on-screen keyboard. And when I start typing, it comes up. When I'm finished, it goes away. This becomes an object. If I touch it once, it behaves just like a regular object. I have free rotation, I have resizing, and I have my pull-down menu. So when I look at my pull-down menu, there are some of these things you already know. You don't know clone, but you cut, copy, paste, delete. You know all those. Spell check, you know that. But locking, grouping, flipping, order, infinite cloner, linking sound, and properties you probably don't know. But I'll show you examples of how those are used in a classroom. Now let's say I have a spelling error. Come on in. It's all right.
Excuse me.
You're okay. Let's say that you have a spelling error and you want to edit this text. I'll make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. I'm going to double click on it, double tap. And it brings up an editor that you're familiar with. You know these tools. I can put my cursor there, bring up my on-screen keyboard, and do some deleting here. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to do that. And I can delete these letters. Or I can put that away, double tap, highlight this. You have some fonts available to you. That's quite a list. And I can change the size of it. Bold, italics, underline, and a color. Click off, bam. Now we have a very different looking object. So we can edit any kind of text that we put on our smartboard. We can edit anything. We also have floating tools. The floating tools are very handy, and that's what these are right here. The floating tools, if you are outside of Smart Notebook software, outside of that, perhaps you're on the internet, you're in PowerPoint, you're in Word, you're in an Excel spreadsheet, you're on the internet, it doesn't matter where you are, because you always have access to these tools and whatever you have in your floating tools, and they can hide or show. So I'm going to open these up, and I have these tools available to me, even if I go on the internet. So I'm on the internet, and let's say that I want that graphic. Well, I need to do something really quick here. And I'm going to grab my camera tool, which is right here, and drag it over to here. I'm finished, put that away. I want, let's see, I don't think I can get that because it's moving. But I'll go ahead and I'll get this. So I touch my camera, and this little camera interface appears. And I'm going to select this tool. All I have to do is draw around it. Bam! It copies it. It puts it in a new Smart Notebook page right after the one I was working on. So if I touch this, there it is. I took it from the internet into Smart, into my presentation. Let's go back to the internet. If I'm on the internet and I'm showing my students something here, I can go ahead and grab my highlighter and I can highlight this material and say, this is going to be on the test. This is important. I can grab my red pen and make a circle around that. I can pick up this pen and do that. If I want to, I can erase all this. And it's very intuitive for teachers. This, again, is nothing. It looks like an eraser, but with the eraser in my hand, I can erase like this. Just with my hands. So I'm finished with the internet. I'm back at my presentation. And if I put a whole bunch of notes on a board, it doesn't matter what it is, I can pick up the eraser and erase like this. I can erase with my hand, or I can do this. I can, hold the eraser, make a circle, bam, gone. Get rid of all of it. Magic. I told you. I am not a wizard. One of the things that you do have to do is you have to orient your board so that it knows the X and Y coordinates of the location of your hand and your touches. And the way we do that is with 2 fingers. Both buttons at the same time, and it brings this up. You don't have to do this very often, but if your touches are incorrect, you'll know when to do it. And it's not where you touch, it's where you release. So we touch, release, touch, drag, and release. Right in the middle of the targets. This information is being collected by the smartboard, so it knows exactly where you need to touch the board. Like I said, not very often. So now to test that, when I touch, is the dot right on top of my pen? Yes. If you touch here and the dot shows up over there, it means you need to realign your board. It just means the touch is off. There are lots and lots of tools. This is the basic toolbar. Not all those other tools that I showed you, but this is very powerful stuff. And in the basic toolbars, these are the things you can do. Now, you can't learn or memorize all this. I'm just trying to illustrate the power of SMART. On the side, we have tabs, and there are 4 different sections of tabs. Right now, I'm looking at the different slides. This is slide view. And all I have to do to hop around in my presentation when I'm in slide view is to touch them. I'm going to teach you about the second one, which is the gallery tab. The gallery tab has 6,603 objects in it that you can use when you are making these lessons. 6,600 crazy cool objects that you can use. And I'll demonstrate some of those. The attachments tab right here allows you to take your presentation and drag a movie into your attachments, drag a PowerPoint into your attachments. And right in the middle of your Smart Notebook presentation, you can bring up a Word document, or bring up a PowerPoint, or bring up a movie if you'd like. So the Attachments tab is very cool. The Properties tab is something that would be just great if we could install into our students' heads. Because then, with the Properties tab, we can control how objects in SMART behave and look. Wouldn't you like to be able to control the behavior of your students? Sure. So I'm going to insert a blank page right here. A blank page. Go back to the Slide tab. I'm going to grab this tool right here, my Shapes tool. Now, if you're a math teacher, I know you're all English teachers, but if you're a math teacher, this is super cool. I want to make several equilateral triangles. There's one. Here's a smaller one. Here's a big one. Okay. And I'm going to put my tool away. Every time you're finished using a tool, put it away by touching the select tool. Now I'm going to touch this item, and I can do things to this by touching the Properties tab. Maybe I want to make it, let's see, on the inside, the fill effects, let's make it red. On the line style, let's make it fat and a different color. It's instantaneous with just touches. The other thing that I can do is I'm going to grab this object right here, move it like that. And I'm going to do something that in training we call a marquee select. It's a very important strategy, a skill that you need, it's smart. Back of the hand, use your fingernail and do a marquee select to select all the objects. So I've now selected all of the objects. And I'm going to touch, I've got my properties here. And I want to control the behavior and the appearance of all of those objects. I want to make all of them purple. I'm going to change the line style so that all of them have yellow on the outside of it. I'm going to control it so that they all have the same thickness. Pretty crazy, huh? I can just select one, or I can select two objects and change their properties as well. Back to my slides. And one of the things that we do in education when we are working with students is called hide and reveal. Sometimes we want to hide information. Sometimes we want to reveal information to our students. So with hide and you're going to see a lot of hide and reveal examples in the lessons, in the activities that I'm going to show you. But one of the great ways, do you have overhead projectors?
Yeah.
Okay. And you take a transparency and you put it down in the projector and it shows. But what you might do is take a piece of paper and put it on top of there and slowly move it down. You do that? Okay. That's hide and reveal. It's a good pedagogy. It's a good application in the classroom. And there's a couple ways that we can do hide and reveal. Let me show you some simple ones. One of the things we have is Smart built that overhead transparency hide and reveal technique right into the software. And it's right here. It's this tool. Bam. Hide. Reveal. So we can hide and reveal just like a piece of paper on a transparency. The other thing that we can do is we can hide things off the board. We can have all kinds of content. And we can have things hidden off to the side using what's called pull tabs. So this is a pull tab, and we can hide it, or we can reveal it. Now what this is talking about is the page sorter. If I want to, I can take this page and just touch it and drag it. And it changes position with that page. So I can change the order of my slides just by touching and dragging it. This one, it has a drop-down menu. The pages do. If I create a beautiful page and I just have to change it a little bit, what I can do is touch this, and I want to clone the page. Now I have an exact duplicate. Look, here's one, and here's one. Exact duplicate. And I can change it a little bit. I don't have to redo everything. The last one they want to talk to you about is we can reorder, sliding them around, and we can rename them. If I want to change this page, the name of that page, I use my pull-down menu, and I click on rename the page, and I can type in whatever I would like for a name for that page. So those are the three things that that's showing you. In the gallery, which is this tab right here. There are many different kinds of things. As I mentioned, there are 6,603 items. Some of them have sound. Some of them have sound.
Nothing's perfect.
Tech problems?
Volume is down. This should work. Some have sound. Some of them are flash objects, and I'll show you some cool flash objects. There are video files built into it. There are backgrounds, like in this case, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There are backgrounds like graph paper, writing paper, 50 different kinds of lined paper for mathematics, for writing, for language arts. There are complete lessons that are already built for you that you can re-engineer and change. And we have pictures, backgrounds, interactive multimedia, notebook files and pages, and themes. We even have working clocks. We even have dice that work. Everything that's on a page is an object. This is an object. Those are all objects. But there's something special about the Google object. Notice what happened. As soon as I touched the Google object, it went right to the internet, pulled up my browser, and took me to Google. So if I wanted to stay at my board, I could go ahead and bring up my keyboard, touch there, and voila. How fast is that? Beautiful.
No, please, we're homesick.
Watch this. I want you to pick a picture. Which one do you want me to grab?
The second one, next to the flag.
You got it. Watch this because, again, more wizardry and magic. I need to touch that picture, and then I should be able to do this. Didn't work. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh, there we go. I got it. So now I have this giant picture, right? Maybe I don't. No. It's in the clipboard, in the content. So I can get that picture anytime I want to by touching that. And it comes